Well, reality is in full effect. All right, people. So, I did a video talking about non-for-profits and grant money, and it should be a stricter mandate for that money. So, I'm reading this article, and the title of this article is called The Woodlawn Organization Was Kicked Out of Governor Pat Quinn's Anti-Violence Grant Program in January 2012 and closed its doors soon after. Southside nonprofit got anti-violence grant despite years of financial missteps. Okay, so it starts to say the Quinn administration handed out $800,000 in anti-violence money to a political influential Southside community group, even as the non-for-profit filed documents with the state acknowledging it suffered from years of financial missteps, a Tribune investigation found. Now, if they filed this, and it has been filed, which makes it a legal document, why would you just sit up and give these people this kind of money? So it goes on to say, the governor's office did not heed red flags around the non-for-profit long run by a pastor with close ties to Illinois' top Democrats. Record shows the state now says nearly a third of the money awarded to the Woodlawn organization should be repaid, but it has not as of yet. The findings come from review of hundreds of records and are the latest in a series of problems uncovered in Democratic Governor Pat Quinn's $54.5 million grant program, conceived amid a tight 2010 election race and not a political distraction as he reruns for a re-election. So if you are the governor and you institute a program that's supposed to be anti-violence and you give it to an organization and they mismanage the funds, but you continually to give the organization this goes all the way down to 2012 before you all decide to do something. Hence what I say. There are no rules, no regulation to mandate these funds as given to these non-for-profit. The Tribune investigation found that on the same day the Woodlawn organization applied to Quinn's program, it found records of internal audits with the Attorney General's office that showed a history of missteps, including misspending of the government money. The newspaper has documented how the longtime nonprofit got the grant despite its questionable finances, then handled the money in ways that sparked complaints from state officials. From missing bread and butter documents such as bank statements to spend money on fast food. Records show that as part of the grant program, the group even taunted sending a busload of people to lobby in Springfield. Its mission asked lawmakers to keep the money flowing. So now you getting money, you have acquired the money. Now you want to get a group to go get more money, and you can't even manage the money that you got. This is crazy to me. It is crazy to me. And we okay with this. We okay with this. So this article is talking about they didn't pay their employees. They did not pay their employees. So it says the Woodlawn organization, whoever the preacher was an admiring critic, and they give him kudos about his long-standing relationship in the community. So what? Quinn's office said that politics had nothing to do with the anti-violence grant and that the governor has worked hard to reform such program while collecting missing cash. I got a problem with this. This don't make no sense. It's unfair to non-for-profits who are actually doing the work and can't get the money. Because you buddy, you rub elbows with somebody, do not mean that they qualify to get grant money to run a program. I don't know what y'all thinking about. I don't know what y'all doing, but somebody needs to be accountable for this madness that's going on. It goes on to say red flags in politics. Fueled largely by government grants, the Woodlawn nonprofit became a one-stop shop for decades in fighting the social ills of a neighborhood just south of University of Chicago that has long been one of the poorest and most violent in the city. Working with nonprofit was an offshot Woodlawn Community Development Corp., which used government finance to develop and manage housing. Finney ran both for years until handing the reins over to his wife in 2008. By 2010, the power couple was paid a combined $293,000 a year to run the nonprofits, and two of which were paid a combined $190,000 by the nonprofit for rent and food. Such deals led to unflattering media reports, which Finney's supporters brush off. Okay. Oh, Lord have mercy. This right here just makes me angry. It makes me angry. As the year wore on, the nonprofit internal woes worsened. Records show that the State Department of Labor began citing it for failing to pay promised wages to employees. And an anonymous employee tipped off another state agency giving the non-for-profit money. The Department of Human Services was due, and two more problems. This is crazy. Among the problems, a $10,700 check written to an unidentified staff member to cover an unspecified ComEd bill, allowing a subcontractor to use state money to give $2,000 worth of American Express gift cards to its workers, and using state money to buy about $200 worth of fast food for a program that had only 2 participants. Now, there are programs that's out here that has more than 2 participants, and they can't get 2 nickels to rub them together. And I'm not understanding. So, I'm skimming through. It says the administrator has recovered $3.3 million owed by groups involved in anti-violence program. The $238,000 owed by 2 is part of $689,000 the state still is seeking to recover. Now, your lovely governor goes on to say, of more than $500,000 owed the state, the Attorney General office said it has received an official referral to try to collect only $24,000. Records show the agency has sent 4 letters since September to the defunct nonprofit addressed to Greeley to try to informally get the cash back before having to file a lawsuit. What's the problem? If I had stolen that money, I would be up under jail. You know it's a crime committed. Why sugarcoat it? Why brush it off? Get the freaking money back. Put it back in the pot. Somebody needs to go to jail. This crap here don't make no sense whatsoever. The last official action on the anti-violence grant came 12 months ago when a state hearing officer formally declared the Woodlawn organization owed the state $238,000. There is no record of a response from the nonprofit. But 2 days after the ruling, the Finney household did cut a $250 check to Quinn's campaign. After the Tribune asked about their donation and others, a Quinn spokeswoman said the governor hadn't been aware of the money owed to the state, and the contributors were absolutely not connected to government action. But she said out of an abundance of caution, the Quinn campaign will respond to various recent contributions with a $2,000 donation to charity. So you're going to try to cover up what was already mess when it came through your campaign fund, and you knew that. See, people, you need to be aware. This stuff goes on every day, and we take it lightly. We just don't pay attention to it, period. They're stealing, bottom line. They're manipulating the fund, and they're deceiving the people. And the organization who decides to give these funds out are responsible for making sure those funds are spent correctly. And that is not happening, and this needs to stop. And he do not need to get back in office. I don't care how much y'all like him or what you think he does. It's time for him to go. Bottom line.